He has circumvented established law by weaponizing the U.S. military.
Can you
Hold on. Before we move forward, how do you feel about what she said so far?
What I usually feel about it, it's dumb. So Cloudy Hostin is the worst on this show.
What about Whoopi?
You know, to answer your question, which is this the immigration fix that this country wanted? I think absolutely there are certain people that wanted to see this kind of pain and destruction for a certain group or type of immigrant. Because if you look at the numbers, yes, the number of immigrants that come from Mexico or of Mexican born are the largest. But the next largest are Asians. 28% of them come. I don't think they walk across the southern border. I think they come by plane. The next largest are Europeans. I don't think they walk either. I'm just saying immigrants, right?
Oh, not undocumented though.
A lot of them are undocumented, actually.
But that's not the stat for being.
But a lot
of them come by plane and then overstay their visas.
They overstay their visas. They overstay their visas, so they're undocumented. The Europeans that come here that overstay their visas are undocumented, but they don't come across the southern border. So I think there's a very clear message as to what this president wants the look of a criminal migrant to look like, what an undocumented migrant. And I think that's racist. Let me also say that, in my view, he has circumvented established law by weaponizing the U.S. military.
Can you
Hold on. Before we move forward, how do you feel about what she said so far?
What I usually feel about it, it's dumb. So Cloudy Hostin is the worst on this show, only over Anna. And the reason why I say that is because she's the resident person of color, supposedly. Okay. Even though Anna is supposed to be, but not.
Oh, what about Whoopi?
You know, I forget. I be forgetting that Whoopi black sometimes. I'm sorry. I just.
She's Jewish. She decided to have
That's
a Jewish.
I be forgetting that Whoopi black. Okay. Yes, and Whoopi. But they have Sonny speaking as such, right? Because Whoopi is Trump deranged, but Whoopi doesn't. She doesn't do what Sonny does, and Sonny makes everything about race, and I do mean everything about race. And this was no different. But the problem here is Sonny doesn't want to admit that Trump does deport everybody. 18,000 Asians gone. India has agreed to take their people back. She's definitely a racist. And what's so crazy about Sonny being a racist is that she's a whole colonizer herself, meaning her family literally had slaves. Her mom acted as if she was black when she has been white the entire time. And then she tried to make an excuse for it. Can't do it.
Well, time out. First of all, they said that they were only holding slaves. They didn't say that they was using the slaves to help pick cotton and beat them and make more babies. They said they were just slave holders.
Puerto Rico is the first establishment in the Americas. Okay? They have the oldest Catholic church. The Spaniards were there. I assure you, that's what they were doing. They were doing the same exact thing. Actually, the Spaniards were worse than the ones here in America.
Well, you can't tell no black person that because black people would beat you down that the worst thing ever happened here in this country. And then you say, well, is there any other countries that you would mind living in other than the U.S.? I'm like, nah, I go visit. I go there on a weekend trip or something like that. And we're going to stay in the best part of the country. But unless we go to Jamaica, then we probably go through the worst parts to get some weed. We probably feel comfortable enough. Dangerous enough.
I can't do Jamaica. I've been wanting to go, but I can't do it. And I want to go, but no, you're
Jamaica has slavery too. Jamaica has a lot of slavery there too.
Yes, which is the reason why Kamala is not black. Her family also had slaves and owned slaves.
You say Kamala's family had slaves?
Hmm. Yes.
Did you learn that from
Yes.
Candace?
No, I learned that from just doing my own research, but Candace is absolutely correct.
I was only asking about Candace because Candace is probably the person that did the most deep diving into Kamala that I've ever seen.
Well, so on Instagram for since I want to say since Kamala was a senator, I have been telling people that woman isn't black, right? And so when this whole Trump thing started, people were like, "Oh, you just like Trump, so that's why you're saying that." I went and I pulled up my archives of me telling people that this woman is not black.
So you was
I've
one of the
been saying this
first.
since she was a senator.
Hey, so you was an OG on top of it. You was like, I don't know why she claimed, and that's the thing too. She didn't always claim black.
Yes.
She didn't always claim it until it was useful for her. Until they said, "Look, Kamala, we're picking you as VP. You're running as a black woman. So from here on out, I don't want to hear that Asian Jamaican BS." All right. And she stopped saying it. We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have. Trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing. We have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace.
If anybody knows the Asian culture, it is no way that her mother raised 2 black women. Because this is what she says. My mom raised us as 2 black women. Lies.
She did.
Lies.
Rachel Dolezal times 2. She did.
Rachel Dolezal is actually, if I was going to pick a non-black to be a black, it would probably be her because, I mean, at least she actually knows that. I've never heard Rachel Dolezal say she was going to put greens in the tub. Rachel Dolezal knows how to wash them.
That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful as hell.
Let me also say that, in my view, he has circumvented established law by weaponizing the U.S. military.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Generally, before being deported, you have an asylum case pending in front of a court, and you must appear in front of that judge. Right now, there are 3 million asylum cases and 900 judges. That is why the bipartisan bill that was going to be passed addressed that particular issue. Instead of dealing with it legally in that way, and I'm not saying he's doing it illegally, what he did was declared a national emergency that qualifies as a foreign invasion. And on the U.S.-Mexico border, not any other border. And that cleared the way for the Department of Defense to deploy the military at a 60% increase. I just think that our military members, many of them did not join the military to do that job. And let me say just finally that they are also racially profiling in doing this.
All right, so that's the BS that I wanted to show. So she's saying that he was racially profiling, but no, he's profiling them based off of how else can you profile an illegal immigrant, in my opinion? In your opinion, how else can you profile an illegal immigrant? You just look at people that look the same and you're like, nah, they're not illegals. No, you go to areas where these people look like this and we speak to them. Then we go, these people look like this. What they're trying to say is that people who overstay their welcome, their visas, the white people that are from white countries, they're saying that Trump is not going after them. And that's not the truth at all.
Well, exactly. It's not the truth, but a large number of them aren't. Let's just say you overstay your visa because you want to stay here. Wouldn't you do your best not to commit a crime so nobody pays attention to you, so you can go under the radar? No, that's not what a large portion from the bottom of the hemisphere do. They come over here and then they commit crimes. And so you get sent back. And unfortunately, because of all these sanctuary cities, if it was me as a Democrat, I would just let them go into the jails. I would say, I would make them stick to what they said they were going to stick to. Okay, you want the criminals? Go to my jails then. Leave the streets alone. But they want to cause so much confrontation. They're like, no, you can't even go in our jails. Okay, so if I got to go into homes, Abuela's going, okay? Niños, everybody.
The babies, the women, the
Everybody.
grandmother, everybody.
Everybody's going, because I'm telling you, it's probably only one kid that's actually the quote unquote US citizen. And they'll bank on that. I know because me and you are from DC. Most of the kids, and at least I know in Northwest, because you have Columbia Heights, most of the kids were El Salvadorian, first generation.
That's true. That's true. There's a bunch of El Salvadorians in Mo County now too. In Southeast though, we didn't have any. Like I can't think of nowhere. I'm dead serious. I can't think of anywhere where we had Hispanics or white people unless they lived on Bolin Air Force Base. Their parents were in the military or something like that. Other than that, in 7th District, 8th District, Ward 8, nope, not under Murray and Burry, they wasn't. Now, in the further north you get, like Northeast, Northwest, yeah, it's some Hispanics in that area for sure.
Yes. Yeah, that's where I lived. And I live in the West. And I tell you right now, that's where I went to school with. My family's Cuban, but I've never known any Cubans. It was always El Salvadorians. And that's because, and you'll never see them in, you've never seen them in places where there were high concentration of Black people up until this past administration. And that's because it was a concerted effort to push out the Black population.
Yes.
So in every city, whether it was Chicago, New York, DC, it didn't matter. In every city, they were putting them in those areas on purpose.
And then try to act as if they are in support of the Black community. And it was the Black governors, the Black mayors, Black cities that kept doing this. Like, oh, send them over here. We are a sanctuary city. And then you have the citizens who were believing that, yeah, it's cool to be a sanctuary city, until they themselves had to live in the filth that they were starting to see. They were starting to see more crime in their areas committed by other people that don't look like them. And you already know, like when the crime is committed by us, we make up excuses, be like, oh no, well, leave the babies alone. There's a way to arrest them. Don't talk to them like that. You ain't got to put your knee on his neck. I ain't mentioning nobody specifically, guys, so you ain't got to attack me. But sometimes, we protect those people that look like us, just so we can stay in our little bubble. But when we start to see other people doing it, and people are randomly being punched in the face, pushed in front of trains, burnt alive, stabbed by other people that's from other countries, because they know that when they get caught, they're just going to get a slap on the wrist and sent right back out there in the street to do it again and again and again. Obviously, they're showing blatant disregard for Black people that they have in their communities that are their voting bloc, but they went out of their way to intentionally create a new voter from the Hispanics and the Haitians and the Asians and all of these different nationalities that we were grabbing from other countries, bringing here, flying here, shipping here, and taking care of their lifestyle, like padding their pockets the entire time they was here. So it's weird as hell.